Welcome everyone. This is our second revision video from the chapter tissue. In the last class, we have discussed about different types of name of the different types of tissue and also discuss about the meristem tissue and general characters of permanent tissue. Now today we start from the first type of permanent tissue, that is parenchyma. Now, by definition, parenchyma tissue is consisting of isodiametric thin-walled living cell. As you know that parenchyma is the permanent tissue, and permanent tissue comes from the meristem tissue. So, permanent tissue or basically parenchyma, they are living cell. Isodiametric means the cell of the parenchyma more or less circular or spherical. That is, diameter should be same of the cell in any plane. This is called isodiametry. Means the shape of the cell should be round shaped so that the diameter of the cell is equal in any plane. Any plane, the diameter should be same. Now, as they are living, so they have the cellulosic cell wall. So cell wall should be thin and they are living cells, so they perform all types of living activity. Now, second thing is location. This parenchyma cell or the parenchyma tissue, they are found in soft parts of all plant. Okay, because hard parts are made up of different type of cell, and parenchyma cell, as they are living, so they can be found in soft part. Except soft part, they can be found in ground tissue. Now, ground tissue, it can be ground type of tissue, it can be found in case of dicot plant in root and stem. Both the case, in case of dicot plant, ground tissue is present. So here ground tissue is contain of parenchyma, where other different types of tissue, that means different types of tissue means other xylem, phloem, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, that kind of tissue can be embedded in the parenchyma. So parenchyma is present in ground tissue, and as it holds other different types of tissue, so they are also called fundamental tissue or fundamental tissue system. Now, going to the character of the parenchyma, as the cell are isodiametric, so the cells are either spherical or oval or polyhedral shape should be, and almost equal diameter in all the direction. And from the definition, we know the cell wall is thin. As the cell wall is thin, then it is composed of only cellulose. No other component are present. Third thing is that we know it is living cell, and the living cell have the basic properties, that is, number one, it should have dense cytoplasm. Number two, it should have large and prominent nucleus, and they have vacuoles. In some cases, vacuoles are present, but more or less few number of vacuoles are more or less present in parenchyma. So these are the three basic things that should be present in a living cell. And the fourth character is intercellular space is absent. As the cells are living, so intercellular space is not required in case of parenchyma tissue. If we take a look on the diagram of the parenchyma tissue, then you can easily identify all the characters. And the thing is that here intercellular space is present, the gap between the cells, here we can see that large intercellular space is present. These are the intercellular space are present. Cell have vacuole. Here you can see that vacuole is present, and this vacuole is actually used for the movement of the material. It can be moved from up and down in any direction through the vacuole. Other character as cytoplasm present, prominent nucleus. This blue part is actually the nucleus. So prominent nucleus is present, and the cell wall is thin. That means it made up of only cellulose. So all the characters that we have mentioned in the character, they are present in the diagram. Okay. So these are the diagram of primary cell, parenchyma cell and the characters. Now we are going to move to the next part, that is function of parenchyma cell. Parenchyma cell perform different type of function because it can be present in maximum parts of the plant. So in maximum parts of the plant, parenchyma perform some basic function. In small plant, it can perform as the epidermis, because in case of small plant, parenchyma are present near about the outermost layer of the plant. So it can perform as the epidermis. And this epidermis help the plant in protection. Second thing is that from in the root, from the epidermis, root hair cell is produced. Root hair is a actually extrusion of the cell. It is not a separate organelle or separate parts. It is actually the extension of the cell that are present in the root. This root is produced from that epidermis. So beside protection, epidermis or the parenchyma that is present in epidermis, it also perform the function of absorption of water and mineral salt. Some parenchyma, they also contain chloroplast. This type of parenchyma is called chlorenchyma, and chlorenchyma is present in the leaf. So it is present in the leaf. In leaf, we have found two types of parenchyma cell. One is palisade parenchyma, second is spongy parenchyma. These two types of parenchyma cell, they actually perform the photosynthetic activity because they have the photosynthetic pigment, that is chloroplast, and that's why they are called chlorenchyma. So chlorenchyma is the type of parenchyma, and palisade and spongy are the name of the parenchyma. Both palisade and spongy, they are chlorenchymatous type of parenchyma. Next character, it also store food material in the cell. In some aquatic plant, if the plant can the capability to float on the water, then this capability of floating of the plant is provided by the parenchyma. In that case, parenchyma is it can hold air in the cell. So this type of parenchyma which can hold air or the hold air in large intercellular space, this type of parenchyma is called arenchyma. And arenchyma help the plant, or it provide the plant the buoyancy, so that aquatic plant can float on the water. And this large intercellular space or the air that are present in parenchyma, it also help in gaseous exchange. So parenchyma has two basic function. One is it provide buoyancy to the plant, and the second is it also help in gaseous exchange. Now when parenchyma become thick walled, then this parenchyma is called prosenchyma, thick walled, and it also elongated. So here you can see that this is the diagram of prosenchyma, where the parenchyma is become thick walled and elongated. This type of parenchyma is provide the mechanical strength to the plant, because these are the turgid tissue. Turgid tissue is very tough tissue which provide mechanical strength to the plant. Some another function also present in parenchyma. Here some parenchyma also can store tannin, oil, and calcium oxalate. These are actually excretion product or excretory waste material. It can be stored in parenchyma cell. This type of parenchyma is called idioblast. These are present. Now calcium oxalate is a crystal. This can make any irritation if we eat the cell or the vegetables that have the parenchyma cell with calcium oxalate. It can produce irritation to human beings or other organisms or other animals. There are some another type of parenchyma that are present in xerophytic plant. Now xerophytic plant are those plants that are present in desert area where water level is very low. So here in this plant type of plant, parenchyma store water, and this type of parenchyma is called succulent parenchyma. Okay, and beside all of these features or function, it also have the another function. It also present in xylem and phloem as a living tissue to provide nutrition and other health for the xylem and phloem, and it also take part in conduction of water and food, because we know that xylem and phloem are conducting tissue. And the last function is that parenchyma cell also take part in reproduction and healing of the wound. This healing of the wound is only performed if cell have the capability to reproduction, because by reproduction cell can produce new cell, and that new cell can heal the wound that is produced in animal body. So these are the major function of parenchyma tissue. Now next tissue, that is collenchyma. So by definition, collenchyma is said that this type of tissue is consist of unevenly thick walled cell. Now this unevenly thick walled cell also denote that here the cell wall material, not only cellulose, except cellulose, there also other type of material can have present in cell wall. That is why the collenchyma cell wall are unevenly thick. In some spaces, other material deposited. In some places, other materials are not deposited on cellulose. But cellulose is the basic property or basic material in cell wall. So cellulose must be present in collenchyma. Now second is location. This type of tissue or cell, they can be found in stem and leaves of dicot plant. Now keep in mind that in monocot plant, collenchyma is absent. In case of monocot plant, parenchyma must be present, but in case of monocot plant, collenchyma is absent. Now always remember that collenchyma and sclerenchyma, as their cell wall is composed of other substances along with cellulose, so their basic function is to provide strength to the plant. And monocot plant are those type of plant which do not have the strength to stay straight. So collenchyma and sclerenchyma both are typically absent in monocot plant. They are present in dicot plant. So dicot plant have three types of tissue: parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. But monocot plant, major of these have the only one type of tissue. They are only parenchyma. When parenchyma becomes dead, they become dead tissue. Now the character that are present in collenchyma, that the shape of the cell, it varies considerably. Now the question is why? If we make a transverse section of the collenchyma cell, then the cell appear oval or spherical. But if we make the longitudinal section, then the cell appear short and elongated. So the basic structure of the cell of collenchyma is looks like that. Looks like a pipe. So when we make a cross section through this plane, we see that the shape of the cell is round shaped. And if we make a cross section through this plane, then we see that shape of the cell is elongated. So this is the only clarification. By being spherical and elongated cell, they are pipe-like shaped. And the cell wall is unevenly thickened due to deposition of cellulose. Except cellulose, other substance like hemicellulose and pectin is present. Now another thing that you must keep in mind, that lignin is absent in collenchyma, because lignin is only present in sclerenchyma. Cellulose only present in parenchyma. Cellulose along with other substance like hemicellulose and pectin, they are present in collenchyma, and lignin is the only material that are present in sclerenchyma. So these are the basic difference of three types of permanent tissue. Now intercellular space may or may not be present. It is not confirmed that it is present or not, so may or may not be present. Now what are the function? As you know that cell wall is composed of cellulose with other substances, so the basic function is flexible. It provides tensile strength to the plant, because this type of cell are flexible in nature, and the cell wall composition make this type of tissue flexible. So that is why it can provide tensile strength to the plant body. Beside tensile strength, it provide also support of growing part. That means we also provide mechanical strength to the growing parts of the plant. And here some amount of parenchyma cell which have chloroplast in their cell, so it perform photosynthesis. Now if we look about the diagram, here we can see that in the diagram these are the cell is round shaped or the spherical shaped or the oval shaped. So these are the transverse section, and if we make the longitudinal section, then we can see that the cell is elongated. So the actual shape of the cell should be pipeline. Pipeline. So these are the basic characters or basic parts that are present in the parenchyma cell. There are the thickenings are more in the corner of the cell. So these are the corners. These corners are basically more thickened by hemicellulose pectin. These are the substance. Now the why intercellular space basically absent, because in case of parenchyma intercellular space is present, but in case of parenchyma that particular space is filled up by cell wall component, that is hemicellulose and pectin, because cellulose must be present in primary cell wall and hemicellulose and pectin are present in secondary cell wall, and this secondary cell wall is actually fill up the intercellular space. So this intercellular space are filled by secondary cell wall. That is why hemicellulose and pectin are present in case of parenchyma. Now we move to the next part, that is sclerenchyma. These are the third type of cell in permanent tissue. Sclerenchyma is consist of evenly thickened lignin walled dead cell. From here we can also clarify the characteristics, that is evenly thickened. That means whole cell wall is the diameter of the cell wall should be equal in all the places of the cell, and this equalness is coming from the deposition of cell wall material, that is lignin. So lignin is the only material present in sclerenchyma cell, and by having lignin sclerenchyma cell are become dead, because living cell they need cellulose in their cell wall, but lignin is completely stiff material. It cannot pass any material or any molecule through it, so that means cell become dead. So these are the basic character of sclerenchyma, that the cell wall should be lignified and the cell should be dead. So from there we can make the character. The cell are either elongated with tapering end or isodiametric in shape. Elongated with tapering end means it can be two types of cell. Either cell should be round shape, that we have seen in the diagram. Cell should be round shaped, or it can be elongated with tapering end. If we make this diagram also, here we can see that the cluster of cell that is elongated, it has some arms. So these are the elongated with tapering end. Elongated tapering end means the end of the cell should be pointed. So these are the elongated, and elongated tapering end cell should be look like this. Both the tip should be pointed. Now next character, cell wall is only lignin, composed of lignin, so air evenly thick. It some cases it also contain few amount of cellulose, because before being dead it also have some ability to produce or have some ability to perform some metabolic activity. So that was on that sense, on in that stage few amount of cellulose can be present. Now all the places of cell wall lignin is not present. So where lignin is not present, here a gap is present. That gap is called pit. If we see the diagram, then we can easily understand what is pit. All the cells are without protoplasm, as we see here that cells are dead. So as that cells are dead, so protoplasm is absent, and intercellular space is also absent because it is fiber. Now two types of sclerenchyma cell are present. One is sclerenchyma fiber, second is sclerid cell. This is the first character. Fiber is elongated with tapering end and sclerid cell is isodiametric in shape. From here, we can easily demonstrate two types of sclerenchyma cell. One is fiber, that is elongated tapering end, and one is sclerid cell, that is isodiametric in shape. And the main function of the sclerenchyma is to provide the structural support to the plant, because they have the lignin in cell wall. So cell wall is very hard and all the cell are dead. So the only function performed by sclerenchyma is provide mechanical support to the plant. Now from the diagram, we can easily see that different cross-sectional view of sclerenchyma. Here, these are the sclerenchyma fiber, and these are the lumen that are present in sclerenchyma. Here also a living experiment, living sample of the sclerenchyma cell. Now these are the pit. 1 minute. There is some gap. We in the character we have seen that where lignin is not present. So in this gap, lignin is not present. So this gap is, it remains as a gap. This gap is called pit. Here is another gap is also present. Here lignin is not deposited. So this is the actually pit. This is a gap in cell wall. Here we can see here this also the gap that is present in cell wall. This is called the pit. And the space that are present inside the cell, so these are actually lumen, because protoplasm is absent, so these space are actually blank. These are blank space, nothing is present. These are hollow, nothing is present in the gap. So these are called the lumen. Okay, these are the sclerenchyma cell. So here we can complete the simple permanent tissue like parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Now we move to the next part, that is complex tissue. Now, what is the basic difference between complex tissue and simple permanent tissue? Complex tissue and simple permanent tissue is that simple permanent tissue is made up of only one type of cell, where complex permanent tissue are made up of different type of cell. Here complex permanent tissue is of two type basically. One is xylem, another is phloem. Xylem contain four types of cell. One is trachid, second is vessel, xylem fiber, and xylem parenchyma. Phloem is also composed of four types of cell. One is sieve element, companion cell, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fiber. First, we discuss about the xylem. So you can move to the next part. These are the different types of xylary element. As you know that xylem had four types of cell. First is trachid. One second. First is trachid. These are the trachid. Trachid are elongated and thick wall cell with tapering end. So tapering end means this end is pointed end, and as you can see from the diagram, that cell is elongated and this is thick wall. Here if we see the thickness of the cell wall, this is very much thick. So this is the character of trachid, that is elongated, tapering in, and thick wall cell. And this thick wall is made up of lignin, because you know that thick wall is always made up of lignin. When the cell is have thick wall, it is made up of lignin. The function of the trachid is to conduct the water and minerals and provide the mechanical strength. Now we move to the next part, that is trachea or the vessel. Trachea is it is also elongated cell and it is also thick wall, but cell is basically dead. So trachea is dead cell. Trachea is dead cell, and the second features that are present in trachea is that at the end point of the trachea it is perforated. Okay, end of the trachea is perforated, and here a plate is present which is called perforation plate. Through this perforation, materials can pass from up and down. Next two part are xylem parenchyma and xylem fiber. We know that parenchyma is the living cell. So xylem parenchyma is the living part of the complex permanent tissue. Okay, this is the only living part. And the second thing is xylem fiber. Xylem fiber is the only sclerenchymatous tissue that are present in xylem. So parenchyma is the only simple parenchyma is present, that is, it is the only living part of the xylem, and xylem fiber is the only sclerenchymatous tissue that are present in xylem. So parenchyma is basically provide nutrition or energy to the other part, and fiber provide the mechanical strength to the xylem. And the main function of the xylem is performed by these two type of cell. One is trachea, second is trachea. These two type of cell, they perform the actual function of the xylem, and the xylem function of the xylem is that it conduct water and minerals through the plant. So if we make the function here, then we can also make it xylem conduct or conduct water and minerals, and this conduction is only performed by this cell, that is trachea and trachea. Now we move to the next part, that is phloem. These are the diagram of the phloem. You can see here. Phloem also contain four types of cell. First is sheep tube, the basic cell that are present in phloem. They are sheep tube. Now sheep tube is the part of the phloem through which all the material can pass. So these are the sheep tube, and sheep tube is the tube-like cell. Sheep tube is the tube-like cell. Here you can see tube-like cell with plate. With plate at end. So these are the end. This is the plate. This plate is called sieve plate. So sieve tube is made up of two components. One is tube-like cell and another is sieve plate. This sieve plate is produced or is formed from sieve cell. These sieve cell are present also in sieve tube once upon a time, but after that it become sieve plate, and sieve plate is perforated. We have seen that perforation is present. So these are the gap. Through this gap, material can pass from up and down. Now this sieve tube, to one type of cell, they actually provide the protection to the sieve tube. These are called companion cell. Now sieve tube is basically dead. We can see that no nucleus is present in the sieve tube. So the activity of the sieve tube is controlled by companion cell. Companion cell is the living cell, one type of living cell, because it has the nucleus here. So companion cell, they provide nutrition, provide nutrition to sieve tube. Sorry. And the another type of cell that is also present in the phloem, that is phloem parenchyma. So again, like xylem, phloem parenchyma is the only living cell that are present in complex permanent tissue is phloem. Companion cell is also living, but it only provides support to sieve tube only. But phloem parenchyma is actually provides support to all the parts of the phloem that are present in phloem. Now, if we write the main function of the phloem, the function of the phloem is, basic function of the phloem is to conduct organic food. So it conduct organic food. Now, organic food, the conduction of the organic food is in any direction, because the food that is produced in the plant, in the leaf, that food must be reached to the root. So in that sense, it is the direction of the flow should be in downward, and the direction of the flow should be also in upward. So these are the basic complex permanent tissue. Now we look at the combined function of xylem and phloem, because xylem and phloem both are present uh, at one place, both are present together. So there is a functional difference between xylem and phloem. In case of xylem, as we know that xylem can only conduct water and minerals, so the movement of the material through the xylem is only unidirectional. From the diagram, we can see that the material flow from downward to upward, that is in this direction. Xylem can pass or can conduct only minerals and water that is absorbed by the root, and this material which is absorbed by the root must be reached to the leaf. So in case of xylem, the movement of the material is unidirectional, that is from downward to upward. But in case of phloem, phloem actually conduct organic food, and organic food is produced in leaves. Except organic food, phloem also conducts some food that was stored for future use. So all the water, except water and minerals, all the materials that are present in the plant, that should be conducted by phloem. So in case of phloem, the flow of material is bidirectional. It is two-way movement. So the phloem, the movement of the material through the phloem is bidirectional. Because as we know, the food that are produced in the leaves, that particular food must be reached to the root for the support. And in case of root, if root can store some material, then material must be reached to other part of the plant. So that in case of phloem, direction of the movement of material in upward to downward and downward to upward also. So in case of xylem, material movement is unidirectional, and in case of phloem, movement of material is bidirectional. Okay, I hope everyone can understand this. If you have any issue regarding this, you can ask me.